Welcome back to the channel of YourRagingGamer. Now, there's a topic that's kind of been on my head for a little bit and I wanted to discuss it because quite recently there's been a lot of comments on the death of Call of Duty and what things are going to take over it and what's going to be the COD killer. And many of the top YouTubers, like, I don't know, Woody's Gamertag, for example, are making videos on this, discussing this, and trying to decide what will be the COD killer. Now, I'm going to give you my little personalized opinion on this topic. Now, there are two next-gen games. And the prediction is that next gen is going to be the gen that COD dies. There's two next gen games that are sort of like FPSs but kind of different from Call of Duty that have been rumored to be the games that kill Call of Duty. Now, Titanfall and Battlefield 4 are the titles of those two games. Titanfall cannot be the Call of Duty killer because of the fact that it's not cross-platform. There is no way PS4 is getting many more pre-orders than Xbox One is getting currently. This is all subject to change, at least when the consoles actually come out, and then we'll see which one is really better. But for now, PS4 is getting a lot more orders than the Xbox One is getting. Not to argue that Xbox One and PC combined is less than the PS4, because it obviously is more, but technically speaking, you can't have a cross-platform game that dominates Call of Duty like this unless it's legitimately cross-platform. If a game isn't on the PlayStation 4, which right now looks like it's kind of better than the Xbox One, then it's not going to be the game that kills it, because Call of Duty is the one game that comes out for every single console every single time it's released. So that's one game that's absolutely out of the question. There's no way in hell, until Titanfall releases for the PS4, there's no chance it will be a COD killer. Now, Battlefield 4, I think of Titanfall as kind of an in-betweener between Battlefield and Call of Duty, but the problem with Battlefield is that they're showcasing all these massive things. They're upscaling absolutely everything that Battlefield 3 was all about. Large battles, tanks, like planes, ships, like massive buildings collapsing, all that kind of stuff. That is not even close to what Call of Duty is about. Call of Duty is this close-range, action-packed stuff, and as long as some changes are made to improve Call of Duty every year, it's going to stay the thing that's popular in its own genre. Call of Duty and Battlefield, the only thing that combines them is the fact that your character holds a gun and he runs around and shoots things. That's literally the only combination. That's the only thing that Battlefield has similar to Call of Duty. In any other way of thinking about it, Battlefield is just a whole different genre. Battlefield is more like this game where tactics are more involved, to the point where you need to be controlling different, like, massive sections of the map. You need to be controlling some sort of vehicles and things like this, and it's all massive upscaled thinking. There's going to be, I think, like 56 or 64 players per match and stuff like this. It's going to be a lot of players, a lot of shitheads to mess up your day, and all those kinds of things. Not saying that having a lot of players is necessarily bad. It's not necessarily a great thing either, because all the servers that are going to be run by the company, most likely, are going to be massively jam-packed, and you need a lot of servers to support a game no matter what kind of console it's on. Now, also, Battlefield 4, technically speaking, if you'd like to compare it to Call of Duty, then, as unfortunate as it is, Battlefield is more like a hiking simulator than anything. You're going to respawn and then you're going to have to walk for half an hour to find the nearest enemy unless you actually go somewhere and find a tank or find a plane. If I play Battlefield, I'm not necessarily that much interested in driving one of those planes or tanks, because I'm not good at flying a plane, but it seems to be like it's one of the only ways to get around a massive map like Caspian Border or something. And so I'm like, what do? I respawn, I want to play the game, I want to play this massive map, but I can't do it without grabbing an airplane that I can't fly and I can't possibly control. That's the difference, because if you hop on the Battlefield 3, the veterans are kicking ass and the newbies are just absolutely getting destroyed. The thing that makes Call of Duty popular is the fact that noobs and beginners at least have a chance of survival. There's not as much of a range of things that can make veterans overpowered, because really in Battlefield 3 there's like 45 levels where you unlock something different each time, and then there's 100 levels after Colonel where you're still unlocking different shit. And also because Battlefield and EA is kind of known to be greedy at times, and they tend to money whore with only unlocking certain things if you pay them extra money. They're known to do this. That, like, a lot of people argue that Mass Effect 3, the series itself, was ruined by Mass Effect 3 because to get the good ending you legitimately had to pay money. and things like this. And also it had a bunch of incompatibility problems, and you had to transfer files and things, and so that's why Mass Effect 3 is rumored to have ruined the series. And then Battlefield, basically to get half the good guns in the game, you have to pay an extra $60 with the game to get premium. Now, premium unlocks you all this new crap, but if you don't have it, you feel limited to just those few guns that you can use, and it's really not as attractive as you think it is. Battlefield 4 is obviously going to have the same premium shit because EA can't stop being greedy. And so I can't see Battlefield 4 being the Call of Duty killer, because people that don't want to pay extra money will not feel as into the game as the people that are really being veterans and they're playing 24/7 Battlefield gamers. And the second difference is the fact that Call of Duty has this massive intensity level that Battlefield just misses completely. Battlefield, you respawn, you literally have to run for an hour to find somebody. Call of Duty, you respawn, and 10 seconds later, maximum, you're shooting somebody. And that's the thing. Call of Duty is always going to stay this professional MOG type of game, because there's no other game like it. The only way COD can die is if some game is in this exact same genre of fast-paced action multiplayer shooter and completely destroys it with completely like a new system of running the game. That's the only way you're going to have a COD killer game, and so far no game has promised to do this. There's no game that's so far been advertised that is like COD but beats COD. So that's my opinion. That's why Call of Duty is not going to die, at least with the vision that we have right now of the next generation console and the two games that are rumored to be the COD killers. What in my opinion is going to happen is the playing field is kind of going to level. As much as Halo has been like out of the talk now, there's still a lot of Halo shit happening right now. But Halo's this game that is only out for Xbox, and it's not as popular for this exact same reason. Titanfall, I think it's going to be the exact same thing. It's out on Xbox and PC. PC is like this new thing that Halo has never touched before. But it's out on those two consoles, but it's not going to be as popular because more than half the people that are buying next-gen consoles won't be able to play it. And so that's why Titanfall is out of the equation. No way in hell it's going to be the COD killer. Battlefield is just too different of a genre. Call of Duty is always going to stay this. If you go to the MOG website and you go to the front page, there's all of these live streams that are happening of competitive games. Now, two of the games, Dota and PlanetSide, are those games. We know nothing. If you're a console gamer, you literally have never heard these two games. What the hell in the world is PlanetSide? At least have a little bit of a background in PC gaming, so at least I would know what PlanetSide is. But nobody knows in the world that plays console that what is this PlanetSide 2 thing that's actually competitive game. People make money off playing PlanetSide, and it's not even a game that console gamers have ever heard of in their lives. And so that's going to be the thing that's going to happen with COD. If COD gets less attention, it's going to turn into something like PlanetSide, which is more built around the competitive scene and more around the scene where I'm just going to hop on and not give a shit. Then it's going to be centered around fans that want to try hard and public matches. And that's the reason that Call of Duty is getting this negative attention, is because people are too self-centered on one little game type that they play. There's so many people that just play this domination game mode. They want to go 300,000 to 0, and that's the only thing that matters. And that's the reason why they're complaining, because there's just so much things in the game that can kill you if you're going 300,000 to 0 to ruin your game and make you go 300,001. And that's why people are upset. Why are people caring about this? Why is this new trend happening where people actually think that the only way to have fun in a game is to have a 400,000 kill death ratio and to pour down streak on little children that don't know how to play the game? Now, in my opinion, how I have fun in Call of Duty is I hop on League Play and I actually try to play the game and win. I honestly don't give a shit with my kill death ratio. It's preferable if I go positive at least, so I'm not feeding the enemy team streaks. But at least the one difference between competitive and like public matches is the fact that you play the game the way it's built to be played. So I think that in the next Call of Duties, and I know Treyarch is going to do this for sure. I'm not sure what kind of attention it's going to get with Infinity Ward, but I know that Treyarch for sure is going to center more around competitive, and that's what I love, because you get rewarded for winning and playing the game it's meant to be played, and you're not actually rewarded for camping in a corner and going 300,000 to 0, because that's the way it's been decided on YouTube for some strange reason, because YouTube is this thing that has murdered Call of Duty beyond being the one game that anyone ever plays to this game that a million people always complain about, because people learn about bullshit ways to play the game through YouTube. That's why I don't feel like I should be this guy that should be sharing these tips and tricks, because I know that for half the people that are playing the game, I'm going to be ruining it. And so that's why I'm only going to upload things that have like some sort of general positive purpose, like how to get a camo by playing the game. And so that's my opinion on Call of Duty. That's why I don't think the Call of Duty is going to die anytime soon, because always, during any part of the day, someone is going to think, I want some sort of action game where I can shoot things. And Call of Duty is that one game that actually does this. And so that's why Call of Duty isn't going to die by the hand of Titanfall and Battlefield 4, and that's why Call of Duty isn't really going to die in general. It might fade out of the public scene, but it's never going to fade out of the competitive scene, just because it's so different in style from anything else that's being played competitively. And so that's my opinion. Make sure to write in the comments or whatever, show me with a dislike that you don't agree with me, because honestly, thank you for the view. I couldn't care less. But that's my opinion. I'm going to share it to the internet. Hopefully you can watch this, and hopefully you can somehow make it change your vision about hating Call of Duty 100% and maybe hating Call of Duty 99% at least. Make sure you hate it 99 and not 100, because there's some really good things about this game that I really cannot express just by talking to you. I have to play the game and enjoy it. And so that's my opinion. Hopefully you share it. Most likely you don't, but that's fine. See you guys later. Goodbye.